Hello and welcome to your daily dose of SirToshi's news. Today's day is Monday, the 1st of August 2022. Without further ado, let's just jump straight into it. BuyBSV.live, the best place to buy Bitcoin SV online, the original protocol and genuine Bitcoin. Right, here we go. Look at today's news. First up, Dr. Wright succeeds in libel action against podcaster McCormack. That's Peter McCormack. So let's see what this says here. Ontier LLP client Dr. Craig Wright, the inventor of Bitcoin, the world's first functioning and successful electronic cash system, welcomes today's judgment insofar as it finds that McCormack has defamed Dr. Wright and caused serious harm in his reputation in all of his tweets and YouTube interview in issue. Dr. Wright sued in libel over 14 tweets published by Mr. McCormack and words spoken by him and a YouTube video between March and October 2019. Dr. Wright claimed that the publications alleged that he fraudulently claimed to be Satoshi Nakamoto, the pseudonymous inventor of Bitcoin. In finding that each of the publications complained of were likely to have caused serious harm to Dr. Wright's reputation, the judge found that the fact that Mr. McCormack was willing to state his views so brazenly in response to threats of libel proceedings is likely to have made those who read the publications more, not less likely to believe them. Mr. McCormack had initially sought to defend the action on the grounds of truth, public interest and abuse of process. However, he abandoned those positive defence shortly after the parties exchanged disclosures in December 2020. Dr. Wright said, I've endured and for the large part ignored extreme and offensive online trolling for many years, but there comes a point at which the orchestrated trolling has to be confronted. It has a severe impact on me and my life's work. Where requests to cease and desist are ignored or rebuffed, I have little choice but to seek legal redress. Absolutely. I think he's obviously done exceptionally well there. I mean, this is going to be big news. It was also reported here in Presswire. Dr. Craig Wright successfully sues Peter McCormack for defamation. Yes, indeed. So it was recognised, and I believe as we go on, we'll find that it was 15 counts in total that he was found guilty of. So this was by CoinGeek just 8 hours ago, saying verdict: Peter McCormack liable for defamation on all counts. The verdict is in. Peter McCormack is liable for defamation of his social media campaign, claiming that Dr. Craig Wright's claim to be Satoshi Nakamoto's name is fraudulent. Further, the judge agreed with Dr. Wright's case that McCormack's defamatory tweets had caused serious harm to his reputation in the United Kingdom with respect to all of 15 publications complained of. For Dr. Wright, it's a movement of vindication. He's battled against a wave of disparagement and harassment following his outing as Satoshi Nakamoto in 2015, a wave in which McCormack played a sizable role. Rather than meet these critics on social media, Dr. Wright wanted to face them in court, where he'd be free to defend himself in a definitive, concrete way and give McCormack the opportunity to either retract his statements or to attempt to stand by them under oath in a courtroom. That having happened, the verdict amounts to a decisive stamp of approval for Dr. Wright and a warning to anyone who wants to try their luck in attacking his identity as Satoshi Nakamoto. Again, I mean, there were some classic tweets here. So Peter McCormack had said here, Craig Wright submitted a crazy amount of evidence that he's Satoshi in my lawsuit. Yeah, I mean, that was a classic one from him, really. There was another one here, again, Crypto Briefing. This is where they're sort of trying to spin it, where they said, Craig S. Wright awarded £1 in damages in false Bitcoin libel case. Well, that's not, technically it is true, but there's more to come. It's not just £1. I mean, this is like ridiculous. So they just said a High Court judge has concluded that Peter McCormack has caused serious harm. Well, if it's caused serious harm, he's not going to say, oh yeah, there's £1 in damages. I mean, it's ridiculous. To Craig S. Wright's reputation after he questioned Wright's claim that he created Bitcoin. So again, like too long didn't read takeaways. A High Court judge has ruled in favour of self-proclaimed Bitcoin creator Craig S. Wright in his libel case against Pete McCormack, ordering McCormack to pay £1 in damages for causing serious harm. Well, again, I mean, that's not balanced, is it? If you just got £1 for serious harm. Wright took McCormack to court after he published content online describing Wright as a fraud and a liar. The judge ordered McCormack to pay a nominal sum of £1 after concluding that Wright had presented a deliberately false case. We'll get to the bottom of this in just a second. Another one here said UK judge awards Craig Wright £1 in damages for McCormack defamation case. Again, not really enlightening in what actually really happened. So this was an interesting article today. So News on Chain said that even his opponents have to admit that he won. Self-proclaimed Sirtoshi Craig Wright scores a Pyrrhic victory in defamation lawsuit. So again, they're saying that with a Pyrrhic victory that he's caused more trouble for himself than it was actually worth. But no, see, he actually won. And more damages will be awarded to him later, as we'll see in just a mo. But after this court case, this is 7 hours ago, LA Token, global crypto exchange, LA Token is to list BSV. So that's another one. So we do a quick search here on CoinGecko to find out how big the exchange is. So it's ranked number 21 with a 24-hour trade volume of $500 million. That's pretty huge. That's pretty 24-hour trade volume in the middle there. 24-hour trade volume, 394,673 24-hour trade volume. It's still absolutely massive, so that's pretty good. Peter McCormack here, it says, as some of you will now have seen, the judgment in my trial versus Dr. Craig Wright has now been handed down. He goes, I want to thank my lawyers for their diligent work on the case. Well, he didn't actually win it. Well, that's because he dropped his defence pleading guilty, really. He goes, I also want to thank Mr. Justice Chamberlain for his results. We are very pleased with his findings. That you were guilty on all 15 counts? That doesn't make sense at all. I think even Pete McCormack hasn't figured out what's really gone on here. And so Dr. Wright has said here, I intend to appeal the adverse findings of the judgment in which my evidence was clearly misunderstood. I will continue legal challenges until these baseless and harmful attacks designed to belittle my reputation stop. And here he said, Chamberlain found that McCormack's comments in the video discussion, which included calling Wright a liar and a moron, were defamatory, while the video and a majority of the tweets caused serious harm. So again, it's been proven they did actually cause serious harm. You're going to be awarded more than like £1 for that. Calvin has said, in all the anticipation of McCormack getting what he deserved, getting what he is due under law, let's not forget the illegal delist attack. A class action was filed on this in UK courts last Friday, and this will hit the media today. FT is covering this. That's the Financial Times. Craig was right again. We'll come to that in just a minute. And so there are other cases here. So let's just, hopefully I'll put them here. Here we go. So Truth Rebel has said here, the Wright versus Cormack defamation lawsuit still needs to go through the final process of judge awarding relief. This may include court orders, injunctions against Peter McCormack, or other relief. So again, just gives a brief description here. But this is what all these trolls are missing out. So the judges said, accordingly, I shall enter a judgment for Dr. Wright on the claim of the sum of £1. But then after that, I shall invite written submissions on the light of this judgment. So in other words, like he wants people to actually write to him, inviting them for questions of injunctive or other relief and on costs. So this is just simply an award to Craig to prove that it is now acknowledged in law that Peter McCormack did defame him, and of 15 counts. So this is not the final claim. This is the judge saying this is to start with because this is because the judgment has been found. Now we are going to take more consideration on relief and on costs. So it's ridiculous saying that, oh, he's just rewarded him £1, because he's going to have to pay a lot more for the serious damage that he caused. So again, I think this stupid is as stupid does, as they say. talking about stupid is as stupid does. I heard this this was on Twitter just earlier. Michael Saylor. I mean, literally, you couldn't make this up. Have a listen to this.
Right. So like some small change to make it more secure, maybe, but you can't keep changing the protocol. That's the problem. If you change the protocol, then you probably instantiated a security. And now the problem is, if it's a security, you're trading it illegally, right, on unregistered exchanges without a license to trade a security, and you haven't disclosed all the risk factors on the security. So it doesn't work as money, right?
Look at that. Would you believe it? You don't change the protocol. Hello, Michael. SegWit, is an abbreviation for segregated witness, which is a change in the protocol. A huge, significant change in the protocol. Oh, dear. I think you've literally just, collected a shovel so you can start digging a hole for yourself, mate. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. So this and these here are the people listed in the class action delisting campaign here. So we've got here claimant, which is Craig Stephen Wright, Wright International Investments Limited, Wright International Investments UK Limited, and these are all the defendants. BTC Core, a partnership of entities and individuals, including the second to 26 defendants. Vanderlan Vladimir Jasper. Oh, well, actually, the first one. So it's Vanderlan Jasper Vanderlan, Jonas Snelly, Peter Wool, Marco Patrick Falk, Samuel Dobson, Michael Ronan Ford, Corey Fields, George Michael Dombrowski, Matthew Gregory Colaro, Peter Todd, Gregory Fulton Maxwell. Oh, Greg Maxwell. Oh, dear. Eric Lombozo, John Newbury, Martin Zuzmand, Peter John Bushnell, Block Incorporated, Spiral BTC Incorporated, Square Up Europe Limited, Blockstream Incorporated, Chaincode Labs, Coinbase Global, that's CB Payments, I'm assuming that's Coinbase Payments, Coinbase Europe Limited, Coinbase Incorporated, and Crypto Open Patent Alliance. So again, like we've already found that Peter McCormack defamed CSW on all 15 counts. So a post ruling by another judge cannot contradict a precedent that's already been set in law. So, these people are going to be in trouble. And Kurt did a post earlier today saying Peter McCormack found guilty of defamation and causing serious harm to Craig Wright on every individual count. Very curious that the judge ruled so decisively, yet fined Peter only £1 for his guilt. Well, again, it was just a recognition that he's been found guilty. It wasn't like £1 for his guilt, because the judge has been asking for I suppose information, really, on costs and I can't remember what the other word was, but it just put right the wrongs, really. So £1 is just simply the acknowledgement. That's not actually the amount that he's going to have to pay in total. It's going to be a lot more than that. And just for lulz, we finish here. Check this out. I found this.
Well, I'm heavily biased. So I started out as a developer on the Ethereum platform. I developed on the Ethereum platform, and then I gave up on the Ethereum platform. I'm here to tell you that Ethereum does not work. That if you are looking at developing on the Ethereum platform, you should stop looking. You should look at EOS, because that's a viable platform, and you can build something on EOS. Stellar is also a viable platform. You can build something on Stellar. You're not going to be building something useful on Ethereum.
Scathing is all I can say to that, but you're also not going to be building anything useful on any of the platforms that you just mentioned, because they're all security offerings. The only way you can commoditize data is using the original Bitcoin protocol with a fixed supply, a locked protocol, infinite scale, economic competition, and a chain of digital signatures for common accountability. And they haven't really figured this out yet. But he's a dev, He's not a legal or an economist and doesn't really understand securities and commodities. But there we go. We'll leave it there. 15 minutes. Hope you enjoyed the show. As ever, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.